Welcome back to Slacker Gaming, and welcome to an episode of learning how to pitch in MLB The Show 21. If you want tips and tricks, this is the best way to get those. So in this episode, we're going to go over the options for pitching, the settings that I use and that are used by a big group of content creators on MLB The Show, and then I will give you some tips on how to be a good pitcher. So if you like to watch that, stick around. So this video is coming out with my hitting tips video, so if you have any questions on hitting, make sure you go on over and watch that video as well. But in this episode, we're just going to be talking about the pitching and the different options, settings, and tips on how to be a good pitcher in MLB The Show 21. We're going to get started. If you're brand new, go to Options, Explore, pick your favorite team, and we're going to jump into it because we need to figure out how the best option or what the best options for us are going to be as far as pitching goes. So we got this. Welcome to the show 21. We're going to go over to the pitching, and here are the options that we have for pitching. We have a lot more options than we did as far as the hitting goes. They added Pinpoint into the pitching options, brand new this year, brand new type of thing going on, and it's a lot like 2K. So if you ever played 2K sports games or 2K baseball back in the day, it is kind of like that. We also have the meter, the pure analog, the pulse, and then classic. So to kind of go over these each have a different ability. So the ability for these are set up in a way that if you throw classic, you're going to have less ability to, if you use classic, you're going to have less ability and less accuracy if you use it. Then we got the pulse, which again, less accuracy. And as we go from right to left, you actually gain more accuracy as you go. So it's all about what you're good at and what you like and what you want to learn. So if you're just new, if you're trying to figure it out, I would just select probably classic just to understand how pitches are thrown, how pitches are selected, that type of stuff. So when you're in here, you're basically going to just press A and you're going to figure it out, and then you're going to press A again and it's going to pitch, and great, everything's awesome. Same thing, you're going to do B here and then you're going to press A to pitch it. And as you notice, I'm down and that slider was outside. So let's do a curveball down and inside here. We're going to pitch, see where the ends up down and away. So not very accurate, and that's the whole reason of this is this pitching type is not very accurate at all. So going on to the pulse and trying to figure out what pulse is, the smaller the pulse, the more accurate the pitch will be. And again, this is one of the ones that's not really that accurate as far as you're going to see the pulse, and as it goes in, you're going to try to get it. And it is more accurate than just the custom, but again, this isn't something that is going to be super accurate. Look at the curveball. Let's see if we could try to get, I got another good, and inside, closer, but no cigar here. If you get good at this, it's something that you can use, and it's something that's definitely very helpful as far as if you're good at it. If you're really good at it, then it could be something that you use. I use the pure analog, and a lot of content creators use the pure analog because you kind of have more ability to change the pitch as you go. So as we're in here, you're going to hit A, and this is going to be the ball, like where your ball is at. So if we want to pitch high and inside, we're going to go high and inside with the PCI, and you can see up there it is moving the little thing telling us that we are throwing inside to the plate, outside of the plate, right down the plate. And then as we go down with the right thumbstick, you want to hit the yellow line and then back up. So we're going to hit down and up, and we were just late on that, and it was almost right down the middle. Same thing here. Let's do a pitch high and inside and see how it goes left. So then when we go down, we have to finish up and left. So down, up and left, a little bit early, still pretty accurate of where we threw it. Same thing here, curveball down and inside. We're going to go down and then up early there, and this is what most people use because you have a lot more ability. So say we go straight up, right, and you know, as we go to the outside, it's going to send it to the outside. It's not just going to be something completely random. Same thing, a slider inside, It says to go outside. Boom, good. So we know that the ball is going to be a little more out over the plate than it was before. Same thing, let's do a 4-seam fastball right down the middle. I will try to go inside on it. Go down and inside, and boom, inside it goes. So you have more pitching ability with the pure analog, and I think that's really why people use it. It is also really easy to time the baseball player. So once you've pitched with them for long enough, you pretty much have their timing down perfectly, and you can pretty much pitch strikes at will. So next thing is the meter. The meter's been around for a long time. I used to use it, but I felt like I was losing accuracy, and I felt like I could get that back with the pure analog. But let's go ahead, jump in the meter. Fast or 4-seam high inside, you're gonna click A, you're gonna click A again, and then you have to try to get the yellow bar again. So A and A, just late. And see, this is where I was running out of not being able to hit very well, and I was leaving a lot of fastballs over the middle of the plate. So just use this, learn how to use it, understand it. It could be good if you're good at it. It's more accurate in the end than pure analog. So if you can use meter and you're good at it, go ahead and use it. So another thing here as well, as you notice the meter goes, as it's yellow, you're gonna have less pitch speed. So see how my 4-seam is 90 to 95. If I do at the very beginning, he's going to throw a 92, whereas if I try to hit into the red, his fastball is going to come out a little faster. That one only 93, but that's what I'm saying is, like, if you want to barely throw it, boom, 91 down the middle, the same exact pitch that goes all the way to red is going to be a 93. So you could switch pitches and do stuff a little bit different if you are wanting, but if you hit in the yellow, it will be less accurate than in the red. Then we are on to the brand new Pinpoint pitching, and the reason I say brand new, it is literally brand new, put in the game this year. It was in 2K, it's a little different in this one. 2Ks was much easier to throw like this. There's a lot more going on with this Pinpoint pitching, and I am going to tell you to the best of my ability, this is the best option if you're a brand new player, if you're wanting to know how to play, if you're wanting to try to learn pitching. Pinpoint is probably going to be your best option just to learn straight out of the gate. For people that have been around for a while and have what they use for pitching, they might want to stick with it because it works for them. But Pinpoint is literally going to be Pinpoint pitching, meaning if you place a fastball high and inside and you hit everything exactly the way it's supposed to be, then it is going to go exactly there. So you have the most accurate pitches with Pinpoint pitching. However, to me, it is also the hardest way to pitch. So that was a 4-seam, and basically what you're doing is you see the little thing up there tell you go down, go up, and then go down again, and you try to do it in that motion. So go down, up, down. So let's try down, up, and down, up, down. So that's going to try to give yourself the best of your ability, and each one's going to have its own thing. So fastball is up, down, up. The slider, you're going to have to go left and then move all the way around to the top and then down to finish the pitch off. So I'm not trying to give you a pitching lesson because I am not very good at pitching this way. It's also why I don't use it. But this is the most accurate type of pitching that you can use in the game. So if you can master this, then you're going to be better off in the end by using this pitch. I also want to mention the stuff up top will tell you how you do. So 49% was too fast on that, and it will tell you each pitch. So if you go just fastball, we were 81% accuracy. We were 0.21 seconds late, which made it drop there. We were early, and then it will also tell you if you're left or right on it as well. And those are going to basically give you the feedback you need to try to make the best pitches you can. So now that we are done picking the options for pitching, you know what you want to pick. We're going to go into custom practice and teach you how to use custom practice and teach you how to basically use the pitches and just practice with them, because in the end, the biggest tip for you guys is practice. So as we're in here, let's go over the options. We showed you the options earlier. Let's go to gameplay and then go over to pitching. dynamic difficulty, I always keep it on there. This is where you're going to pick what you're going to pitch with. If you want pinpoint, if you want meter, if you want classic, pure analog, all of this stuff is right here. I use a pure analog, so that's what I'm going to use. But if you're using like pulse meter, this is an option. Pitch feedback, you can be on or off. I enjoy on. Pitching view, again, is going to be your preference. Some people like pitching from the pitcher's point of view. To change how you see the pitcher, if you want to change how you see the batter, all that good stuff, that's where you're going to set that. My favorite is actually the same as my hitting, and that's going to be strike zone 1. That's going to give me the best, to me at least, the best like way of viewing where I'm pitching the ball. You kind of lose some stuff as far as when I feel like if you're pitching from the other place, you lose kind of how close things are, how far things are, how accurate you need to be on the pitch. So to me, this is the best ability for me to see exactly what's going on. As you can see, the curveball, it's going to show you his release point and where he's going to throw it from, and then it will also tell you kind of how the ball is going to be breaking. So if you're going to throw a curveball, you see that big loop there, and that's how he's going to throw it. Whereas if you go from the pitching side, you don't really see that big loop, so you don't really understand how much the pitch is going to break. So after the pitching view, you got the pitching ball marker. You could just play with this stuff and see what you like, see what you don't like. Pitching confidence is a display that you will see over here. So you see to the right, it has energy and confidence. You will also have confidence on each pitch. And so if you turn that on, you can see the options and know what the pitcher is feeling good at, what the pitcher is struggling at. So if you throw a lot of fastballs down the middle and they get hits, your fastball will start becoming less accurate because the confidence of that fastball is going down. Whereas if you get a bunch of strikeouts with your curveball will actually get better because your confidence is higher on your curveball. And then the pitch delay, something again you can mess with, see what you like. The API is whether or not you want to see whether or not you want help. Some of this stuff is disabled on online gameplay, but it tells you where the catcher thinks you should throw it. So let's throw a high and inside here and see if the catcher gives us where we should throw it next. Okay, you see Y and you see the catcher mitt, so they want a changeup. You see the Y kind of flashing for you. They want a changeup down. Right now they want a two-seam outside, so we're going to try to throw it there. And that's just your catcher kind of helping you pick your pitches. If you don't know what to throw in a certain count, or if you don't know what to throw to a batter or something, then using the catcher API will definitely help you narrow down what you should be throwing. It will know counts. It knows that Mookie Betts struggles at these types of pitches, and it will try to give you the best ability to pitch to those spots so that you can make the best pitch against your hitter. So we've gone over the options, we've gone over the settings, and now here are some tips. So when you're pitching, the biggest thing is your pitching setup and your pitch selection. So when you see what the pitcher has, he has a four-seam, a slider, a changeup, a two-seam, a curveball. The more pitches, the better, in my opinion. If you have a fastball and a curveball, there's only two pitches that the hitter needs to look for. Whereas in this, we have two fastballs, which one moves, one doesn't. So there's that. And then you got the slider, which moves from like left to right, right to left. The changeup, which looks like a fastball except slower. And then the curveball, which is one of those looping curveballs that you've seen thrown like that. And so you have much more options of pitching and much more options of getting people out. So the number one tip I can give you is setting up the batter, not throwing the same thing 4 times in a row. It's kind of baseball knowledge, pitching knowledge. You can't just keep throwing a four-seam fastball either down the middle. Yeah, you could change where you throw it, everything, but a four-seam fastball, the hitter will get used to the timing and will eventually start hitting it. So you want to make sure that you're changing pitches throughout you want to make sure you're changing pitches and having a different cadence. Otherwise, your pitcher will lock in and start crushing the ball. So some tips to give you is, so you might want to start with like a four-seam fastball outside there, and then maybe we won't hit him with something slower. So we're going to hit him with a changeup down and out. And that's going to kind of set him up. He's seen 2 pitches away, one fast, one slow. Let's hit him with the high inside heat. And he is not ready for it. He is not timed up. and we get the strikeout. So that is the biggest thing, is knowing when to throw things. If you are in an 0-2 count, you have 2 strikes on him, don't throw the ball down the middle. If you have an 0-2 count, nibble on the outside. So like, say an 0-2 count, we want to do a curve down and out, so it could be a strike and it also could be a ball. Same thing, we want a high inside fastball, we want to put it right on the edge, so it could be a strike, it could not. And so most of the time, if it's close on a 2-strike count, you're going to get them to try to hit it, and their PCI only allows them to go so far. So if you get them to swing and try to hit something like this, their PCI is barely going to touch it, and they are not going to make good contact on a pitch that's high and inside for a ball, basically. The next big tip I'm going to give you is just to practice with the windup, practice with the player. Whether you decide on pinpoint pitching or whatever pitching you decide on, mine's the analog directional one. Whatever you decide on, you need to practice it, you need to understand it. Like, I know exactly what pitch I could throw from here. I could throw it right down the middle and want it outside and go right here like that. I also can go left on a 4-seam fastball, can do it on anything, and I know how to throw it. So like, say I want a here, but I really want it to kind of be outside of this, so I'm going to go inside and go out, and boom, outside of the zone. So you have that option. The biggest thing to do is practice and understand what you're doing. So like, a lot of times if you're early, the ball will end up being up. If you are late, the ball will end up being down. So let's say we're going to throw a curveball right down the middle of the plate. If we are early, it will float up. If we are late, it will go down. So let's go in the middle here, and we're going to go late here, and down it goes. Now, same thing here. If we go early, it's going to be up. So know that, and know kind of why you're throwing the pitch here. Like, if you're going to throw a 4-seam and you miss it, and you know, oh, late, it's going to be lower in the zone, you kind of can start knowing whether or not it's going to be a strike, whether or not it's going to be down the middle, that type of stuff. And as you play, you will seriously understand. Like, if you throw a slider like right here and you mess like that, you're like, uh-oh, that might float, and sure enough, it floated. So just knowing that stuff, you have the ability as a fielder to be ready for what could possibly happen. And the last big tip to give you, if you're playing online, it doesn't work so much against the computer because the computer is artificial intelligence. But if you're playing online, the biggest thing to understand is know how to pitch to the batter you're facing. So they will have red, blue, whatever things that will tell you kind of where they hit well, and you will have to take that and move it. So like, if Mookie Betts can hit up in the zone here, you probably don't want to throw him a 4-seam fastball up in the zone where he can hit it. You want to throw to the zones he struggles at hitting. Same thing, if a guy is close in on the plate, it's going to be harder for him to hit inside high pitches. So it might be something that you throw more inside pitches on a guy that crowds the plate. Also, on power hitters, you're not going to want to throw a curveball ever up. On a power hitter, you want to throw every curveball down because they will crush it out of the park. So stuff like that, and knowing your batter, and then if you're online, knowing that if you're throwing a lot of inside 4-seam fastballs and the guy cannot hit it, then you know, hey, if I need to strike out, I can go that 4-seam inside fastball. He's not going to be able to touch it. Or if he's not picking up a curveball down in the dirt, you know that, hey, if I need a strike or a strikeout, I can go down in the dirt. He's not going to pick it up. So knowing those and using those tips can help you be a better pitcher in MLB The Show 21. If you guys liked this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you're wondering about hitting, I do have another video over on my channel, so go watch the hitting tutorial for some tips and tricks there. But if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Also, feel free to hit that red subscribe button, and I will be bringing more MLB The Show 21 content to you soon. Till next time, Slacker out.